This question comes from Mario Fararha. Hi Ron, I was wondering how to quick turn work in a seller's market. I believe that people are less likely to give you equity and sell on terms since there's more buyers competing. What changes do you make?
Okay. Well, Mario, as I recall, you are from British Columbia. Is that correct, Lauren? From Vancouver?
Vancouver.
All right. Well, you see that I need to know this, guys. When you contact me, I need to know where you live. And you're right. Vancouver is more of a buyer's market than a seller's market, which is totally opposite of the way we are in the United States. But hey, we didn't always used to be that way, guy. In 2005, we had the same issues. And incidentally, there are parts of Alberta that are that way now as well. So the answer is very simple. Always going to be people who need to get out. Always. And I don't care how vibrant the market is, and I don't care where you live. Your job is to get sellers to come to you and pick and choose the minority, the handful that have a reason to want to get out and give away you some free equity. Don't forget, for people to sell their house generally, they're either going to have to hire a realtor, and there goes 6-7% right there, or they're going to have to sell it themselves, and most of them just make a tremendous, horrible mess of that job. So listen to me. Quit worrying about whether it's a buyer or seller's market and start worrying about getting people to call you. But if you'll just remember, you're only after 1 or 2 or 3 a month to creep through, and I promise you won't have any trouble finding them. And add that into the fact that you don't have to steal the house. You're not asking for 50% off of the house. In fact, if you get 15% off where you live, think of the amount of money you can make because of the price ranges you're in, and when you turn it around, the size of the non-refundable deposit you're going to get. The truth is, I'd much rather be in your prices than I would in some of the cheaper markets, because for you to get a $25,000 to $50,000 non-refundable deposit is not going to be that big a deal in your price range. So I hope that helps, but in a nutshell, just get sellers to call you and you'll see that some of them are motivated.
He has 2 more questions for you,
Oh my
Ron.
goodness, all right.
It says, when are you going to do a quick turn boot camp in Vancouver, Canada?
I don't know, Mario. I don't have one on the books yet, but I am going to do one in Alberta, in Calgary, and that's going to be in May. So you'll be notified of it, and I expect to see you in that one, and I will be teaching it personally. And I believe it's the 3rd or 4th week of May. I'll let you know.
His last question is, now that you are providing a proof of funds letter, are you also going to provide transactional funding?
No, I'm not going to provide transactional funding, Mario, and frankly, I doubt you're going to need transactional funding anyway, because it's a very tricky thing. Transactional funding doesn't do anything but satisfy the closing agent's need to have the money in the account before they pay the seller. They still cannot take the money from the transactional funding and pay the seller. It's only a device to satisfy their legal requirements. And most people are under the impression that when that transactional money comes to the table, that you can actually use it to close. That is not the case. So I think you should probably quit worrying about transactional funding and start thinking about all the beautiful houses that you can attract where you can take over the debt, and quit trying to find all of the properties that you got to pay cash for, because that's the only place you'd ever need transactional funding is if you're paying cash. Why work the hardest part of the business, especially in Vancouver? It was you that told me that you're having a hard time finding deeply discounted deals. So get out of that mindset and get into the market of buying properties directly from the owners, not from any banks or any all-cash sale. Then you won't need transactional funding.